We're going live now.
Right.
Hi. So I wanted to say hi to people out there in Google Plus land, YouTube, and anybody who's listening from around the world. And this is Ebony Empress. I have a show on Blog Talk Radio, and it's called the Ebony Empress Show. And of course, if you look at my tag, that show is also listed on my website. If you go to my website, there are links to the show. It's www.ebonyempresstv.com. Well, today I'm not really talking so much about my show. I just really wanted to introduce a really great person to my listeners. I have to say I did do a little pre-broadcast when we hit this wrong, where I said, my shows are about love relationships. I've been going now since the 4th of June, 2012 on Blog Talk Radio. And we have covered everything in terms of shows on relationships, from cheating. We have talked about ex-partners. We have talked about how to find, catch, keep the man of your or woman of your dreams. Recently, this week, we talked about giving and receiving in relationships. But something I've never talked about in the past 2 years is about healing. And today we're doing a little bit of a trailer with Valerie Love, who I love, who's with me today, about how to heal your broken heart and open yourself up to a new relationship. And it really, I just can't tell you how excited I am about Valerie sharing a show with me, because she is the original love doctor, the spiritualist coach, everything that I am not. And I just want to introduce her to my listeners. Welcome, and nice to connect with you, Val.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. And I'm so honored that you asked me into your space to support with healing in relationships. I love what you're doing. And I love your purple, too. You're working it with the art. You're working it.
Yeah, can you see?
Beautiful.
It's all coordinated.
Oh, really? Okay. So what are we going to talk about first?
Well, I wanted to introduce you, but I wanted people to tell you, I wanted people to learn a little bit about you, sort of your background around spiritual coaching. And I just have to say to people, I only found Val very recently on Google Hangout, and I was so inspired by your Morning Boost show. And that's the reason why I asked Val to join me on my BTR show to talk about healing in relationships. So do you want to say a bit about yourself? Because this will be an intro to my listeners.
Okay. Well, I'm Valerie Love, and I'm a minister of spiritual consciousness and a spiritual life coach, and the author, blessed to be the author of 9 books on practical spirituality. I like to make it really practical,
Wow.
Simple, to the point, real spirituality that people can use. And I have a YouTube, and although on YouTube I talk about a lot of esoteric topics and spirituality, really on our Morning Boost show, we want it to be real simple, real clear, and actionable, that you can take some action, heal yourself, and get on with your day in a really powerful way. So that's what Boost is about. It's about a daily morning spiritual practice that enlivens your life to live from the inside out, to live that authentic self with a capital S. So that's what I do in the morning, and I love it. I love it.
Well, it's fantastic, because I just came across your show by accident, and we talked about this, but let me share this with people out there. I having done so many shows over the past 2 years, I got to the point where I felt, I feel not just for my listeners, but for me personally, that I've done all this growing. I learned all the techniques, the strategies there could be to find somebody, to even get someone into my space and potentially keep that person in my space. But what maybe is missing for a lot of my listeners, and also for me, is sometimes looking at, are we healed from past relationships? And a lot of my listeners are sort of 30 plus, and beyond 60 go in that direction, and they have been exposed to a lot of relationships in their lives. And I know from the conversations that we have about, you know, why they do what they do, what they're looking for out there, I just feel like we've gone all this on this journey, but we still come back to self, right? What's missing? Where is the hurt that's not been healed here? You know, why do I go 10 steps forward and I still find myself coming back and stepping back into areas that I thought I'd passed? What do I need to do to really, really heal some of the stuff I've been through? And so when I found your show and I heard that, felt the energy, oh my God, I was like, oh, I found that person. I found someone who understands, you know, that healing has to come from within. This healing has to come from somewhere, but I don't have those skills. I personally, the way I saw myself, I was like, look, Ebony, you don't have the skills to help your listeners to achieve that. You got to bring someone in who's walking it, talking it daily. And that's why I connected with you. So I feel blessed on so many levels. And I know that people who are listening, my listeners, are going to learn so much from you. And I want to go on your retreat. I want to go to Hawaii.
We'll be in Hawaii in August. And can I tell you a funny story about Hawaii? Can I tell you just a funny story about Hawaii? That I was in Hawaii 10 years ago, almost within about 6 weeks of when the Hawaii retreat will be, which is August 3rd, right? So we'll be in Hawaii August 3rd to the 10th. I was in Hawaii 10 years ago in July of 2004, getting married to my then sweetheart. Since then, we've been divorced, and we are in a great love relationship. We're actually in the best love relationship now that we've ever been in. When we were in an intimate, we're actually in the best love relationship now, without the sexual interaction, as co-parents of our daughter. We're actually in the best love relationship we've ever been in. So it could be that you could be divorced from the person that you're having a great love relationship with.
Right. And I think a lot of people struggle to love those people. You know, I'm the same. I heard one of your conversations this week where you're talking about, you know, seeing that person. I don't want to say it wrong, but seeing the person that you may hate and finding a way to love that person, holding their hand. I was like, what?
No way! No!
I was like, really? Are you for real?
Yes. You know, the very one, we went through a period in our relationship where, you know, I was really considering how could I knock him off and hide the body? Would I get away with it? You know, that's kind of, you ever get there with a person like, you have start having these thoughts like, and, you know, not for real, but, you know, really having a hard time and really trying to figure out how to get through it. It seems to be gridlock, just That's where we were. That's where we were. And to heal it, it had nothing to do with him. I had to do the work on the inside. I don't know. He may be the exact same person. I don't know. I know that my relationship with him is completely transformed.
Right. And that's the thing that I think other people need to learn. You know, how do you get past it? Because when you spend so much time with someone and they've done so much like foolishness, right? You've done so much foolishness as well. Let's own it. You know, you do your foolishness too, and you know, and it ends, and you're just like, no. If we, you know, we may be still parenting the same kids, but I ain't got nothing to say to you.
Right. That's right. You know, we want to cut the person, you know, and then some people are getting out of hand with the slashing tires. And I've heard some stories. In my spiritual life coaching practice, I have heard some very bizarre stories of what people do who at one point said they loved each other, madly in love. And that could be it. madly in love, that there was a part of us that was actually insane, mad. Well, that
Yeah.
part is not in the love. So we've got to be real clear on that, you know.
Yeah.
And part of the healing was owning all of my stuff, owning
Yeah.
all of my stuff, you know, because I had a profound experience where my stuff came right to me. We were in the car and we were about to go out. We were looking for tickets for an event. We were going to an event. And we're looking all through the car. And this was this really nice car that we didn't usually go out a lot in together. He usually would take the car and go out at night because he liked to go out a lot. And so this was the car that if we got really fancied up to go somewhere, we would go in. Otherwise, he had this SUV, I had this SUV, and those were our cars that we used most of the time. But this particular car was sort of like the fancy go out to the opera car kind of thing, kept in the garage and whatnot. So we're in the car, and I'm not usually in that car, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the car, and we're looking for the tickets, and we look at there's like this compartment. And so I lift the compartment up to look, and he's looking through there, no tickets. And then I lift up. There's another compartment underneath it, and there I find condoms. And we don't use them. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So now I can laugh about it. At that point, I was just like done. Like,
what the hell is that?
Now, it's kind of funny now. It's kind of funny now. You know, you just have to laugh. I like to laugh at myself a lot because, you know, humor makes medicine go down. But, you know, in that moment, Sandra, you want to really know what really came to me in that moment was you knew it all along, and you did not want to face the truth. Yeah. You knew. And there was not a thing I could say. And, you know, he swiftly got angry and he closed the thing and don't go in there and whatnot. And I didn't say anything. I just sat there looking straight ahead, looking out of the window because I knew it was true. Yeah. So who could I be mad at? I couldn't be mad at him. I had to take ownership of it myself. That all along my intuition had told me. And before we got married, my intuition had told me. And before we got married, he had told me. We were in an intimate, you know, monogamous relationship, monogamous. I have a different view on monogamy now, which we'll probably talk about on the show. But we were in this monogamous relationship, and he told me that he had, you know, this soiree with someone. He told me that before we got married, and my intuition told me before we got married, and I got married anyway. So who could I be? Yeah. So who could I be upset with? You know, I have no one to be upset with. It's for me to turn within and do my work.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because I think sometimes when you're dating someone, one of the things we talked about on the show this week when we're talking about giving and receiving, that sometimes when you're dating, because your heart is invested, you don't want to hear the things that are said around you, you know. Sometimes you need a bit of time away so you can reflect on what's been said, you know. I know someone I've been dating recently said to me something, you know, I asked him a while back, I said, what is it that, you know, if your partner ever said anything about you negative, what do you think, you know, they would say is your worst kind of feature? What is it about you that they didn't like? And he said, that I'm selfish. And I said, okay. And at the time, it kind of just washed over me. And, you know, it's been some time since we had that conversation. It's now like 7-8 months or so later. And I'm starting to see little things. I'm like, ooh. When that was said, I kind of went, oh, that could have been that person's opinion. But it has some validity in it. It doesn't make him a bad person, but the truth was out there. You know, there is something about you, and you know, and so I wasn't so shocked when I started to see things. I was like, okay, but I pay attention now. You know, I pay attention because I've been there. I pay attention. I think a lot of the times when we're dating people, we don't want to pay attention. We don't want to hear stuff that's being said. We let it go over us because it's like, oh, this is new. He'll be different with me.
Oh yes.
He can
Famous
possibly
last
be that
words.
person.
Famous last words.
He could possibly mess up in the way that he did with that former person, and maybe it
Oh
was all
yeah,
about
yeah.
that person.
He won't do to me what he did with her. And the ones that I love that say that are the ones who are with the man he's married and they're with him and he's still with his wife. And oh, he won't do that with me. And then he gets with her and then he has another woman as well.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
The same thing happens. The
Same thing happens.
Yeah.
But somehow we think we're going to be the exception to the rule. Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily. Watch this space. I always say, watch this space. It will come back to you.
That's right.
But that's the kind of stuff that I think we can talk about on the show. I think it'll be good to allow people to open up if they wish to talk about some of their experiences from the past and things that maybe they're still holding on to, because I think it is this thing of holding on. We're holding on, you're gripping onto it like you're gonna die if you let it go, right? But you don't realize you're doing that, and people say to you, oh, have you moved on? Do you have baggage? You're like, no, everything's cool in my camp. I no longer feel that way. I'm over it. But when you dig below the surface a little, out pops all that stuff you say you have let go. And I think that's when you're healing. You need to look at, what do I need to heal? What do I need to do here? And you can sometimes come to it if someone's in your, kind of behind you, listening to you and hearing that conversation. And sometimes when I talk to friends, I can hear it. And I'm like, God, I can hear it so clearly. Can you hear what you are saying?
No, because many times we can't hear ourselves.
No, we can't. And I think there's such big work to be done with helping people to shift, to make shifts in their lives, real shifts. Yes, we'll keep repeating patterns because we practice so long to be the way we are. It's so hard, I think, sometimes to step out of that and be something different. But I think if someone can kind of show you how you are, just what you're saying, and how that conversation is holding you where you are, I think there's a chance, potentially there's a chance, when you reflect in those reflective moments, to see who you're being and to maybe make a change for good. So that's what I want from our show. 2 years on this road, and I finally met somebody who I feel could bring something. Something good. I'm not saying nobody brought it before, but I'm just excited that you can bring something new, bring some energy. I just love the energy anyway, right? I could capture your energy and sell it. I would sell it. Okay.
God, it's God. I often say I'm powered on God. I'm God powered. That's where it comes from, because I don't even know where it comes from myself. It's just like natural to me, and I've always been like that. And that's the biggest thing people are always saying to me. I love your energy. Like, wow, it's like God powered.
It is. Yes, it is. So that's what we're gonna do. I remind me of the date of the show now, because we agreed a date.
Yes, the date, I believe, is that first Tuesday in July. It's July 1st, isn't it?
Yes.
1st of July? July 1st.
July. And it's a good time. It's a good time for me because 3 days later, I go for the awards. We have been nominated for an award for my show.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, our awards. Oh, are you okay? Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I've been talking a lot this morning, so I realized, and I drank all my water. I realized I need to get more water.
Oh, I won't keep you long.
On your award. Congratulations.
Well, we've been nominated. We haven't won yet. We've got to go to the awards ceremony on the 4th of July and find out whether we won. The category is the best talk show on the internet.
Wow.
And, yeah, so it's a good one. It's my very first nomination, so I'm really excited about it.
That has got to be exciting.
It is amazing. Didn't expect it, but amazing, absolutely amazing.
Where's the award show?
Well, it's in London. I haven't got the exact address, but you've got to go
Okay.
onto the website. It's in East London. If you go on the website for the EBL Awards, all the information is there. Starts about 6 o'clock on that day, our time. And yeah, there's gonna be some awards. It really is a community type award because um, the people who are up for it are people who, doing their work out there. Some of them you may not know, but they're doing their work. And I'm really happy that they've chosen my show to be part of. I think what happened, they put out nominations and we came in the top 10, the top 5 of shows, and out of the top 5 we potentially have the chance to win an award. So I have to thank everybody out there who's voting for this show and who see my stuff and don't always get into it or listen, but appreciate that someone out there is trying to do something to make the world a little better in
Oh,
relationship
yes.
terms.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I know we've been going now for about 40 minutes, and we're gonna be back together on the 1st of July. I'm going to put this trailer out so people who may be interested in learning more about how they can heal can interact with the show on that day. It will be going out at 5 p.m. Eastern. That is 10 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific time, right? So, wherever you are in the world, hope you can join me and Val on that day. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I wish I could just fly to the 1st of July.
I'm excited too. Relationships, that's one of my favorite topics because we're all in them. And relationships really are the chalice of the Holy Spirit. That's where the Holy Spirit does it. It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. It's where the work gets done in relationships. So let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Absolutely. So it's so good to connect with you today. I'm going to let you go because I know you need to go have a rest after your morning boost show and then spending time with me.
It's been wonderful. It has been wonderful. So, yes, I appreciate the invitation. I really do. I think we're going to have an incredible show on the 1st. I really do. I feel it and sense it. It's going to be incredible. So thank you, Sandra.
No problem. Thank you. And just to say to people out there, go and check out valerielove.com. Okay? And I know you've got so much really great information on that website. I've had a looked at the books. People should go out and buy your book. At least 9 books. I haven't even done one yet. I bow to you. I bow to you. 9 books. I need to do one.
I love writing.
Working on one. I don't know.
But they're like babies. When it's time for one to be born, it'll be born. You've got 4 children, so you know how babies are when we have our children. Yeah,
yes. And I need to give birth to that book. But I'm inspired by what you've done and your creativity. I think people should go out and check out your retreat. I'm sorry that I'm not able to get to Hawaii, but I'm going to be watching everything that you put out from now on, and I will see you on the 1st of July, and we're going to share a podcast, and I will put the links on Google Hangout for those people who follow me on Google Hangout. It will also be on BTR, so if you go to Ebony Empress shows on BTR, you will see the link. I'll be putting the show up today, and I will share it with everyone out there. But thank you to everybody who's listening out there. Hope you're going to join us. I can't wait. All right. So, you have a really super day.
Yeah. Thank you. You as well. And all our peeps as well. Absolutely. Lots of love to you. And thank you again for the invitation. I love it. And lots of success lots of success on the award, too. All right. Be blessed.
Thank you. Take care. Be blessed, too. Take care. Goodbye.